Straight ahead with leaders' questions. I welcome the leader of Sinn Féin, Deputy Marylou McDonald, for question number 1, please.
Thank you, Ceann Comhairle. It's great to be back in our natural habitat. So, Fáilte Ash Gach Duine. Taoiseach, this evening we will debate a confidence motion in Minister Simon Coveney over his handling of the appointment of Katherine Zappone as a special envoy. But for now, I want to raise with you one very concerning aspect of this controversy, and that is Minister Coveney's admission that he deleted texts between himself and Tánaiste Leo Varadkar in relation to this appointment. He deleted these texts, Taoiseach, and he failed to send the communications to his department for filing and storage. And as you know, Taoiseach, these were no ordinary texts. These were communications between two of your senior cabinet ministers in relation to government buildings. They were official government information and communication. And the Freedom of Information Act is very, very clear. Communications carried out on electronic devices, such as phones or email, relating to the official function of a minister are subject to that legislation. Now, by way of explanation, Minister Coveney tells us that he routinely deletes texts from his phone when he considers that a conversation has concluded. Taoiseach, it is not the prerogative of any minister to delete official government communications based on their personal preference or judgments. Minister Coveney was obliged to retain those texts under the law. And that a senior minister was so convinced that he had the right to delete government records is extremely troubling, because it goes to the heart of transparency, public interest and accountability in government. Freedom of information is in place to allow citizens to obtain information about decisions that affect their lives and our society. It's fundamental to democracy, for journalism, for activism, and it's absolutely critical in holding power to account. It is, Taoiseach, an essential to good government. So a minister erasing government records in such a fashion stinks to the high heavens. It is, in my view, an abuse of office, plain and simple. I think it's corrosive to politics and it's insulting to people. This behaviour was unacceptable, and it has angered people, not least because it demonstrates a breathtaking arrogance. Tá farraig ar gaoine, Taoiseach, bhí sé seo glic agus bhí sé maltach, tá damáiste déanta don pholaíocht ag Simon Coveney agus ag an rialtas, agus is over an a tábhachtach é seo. So this controversy then raises further questions around how pervasive this behaviour is in government. Because this wasn't sloppy behaviour, this was about a minister deliberately erasing government records. So I'd like you today, Taoiseach, to establish for us how widespread this practice is within your government. Who else at Cabinet deletes texts, documents, communications in this way? What other ministers are doing this, Taoiseach? Have you spoken to each of your ministers? Have you asked them directly if they have deleted government communications in this way? And can you tell us, Taoiseach, what action have you taken as head of government over the last 8 weeks to stamp out this behaviour and to guarantee that this behaviour will cease?
Thank you, Deputy McDonald. Taoiseach, you're welcome to respond.
First of all, I welcome the fact that we're back in the chamber to conduct our business as a Parliament and as Dáil Éireann, and I look forward to working with all parties in terms of the pursuance of the issues that challenge this country. And I do agree with the Deputy that accountability is extremely important to the House, transparency is extremely important to the House, and also on issues of substance. And I have to say that the Minister for Foreign Affairs has provided a very full explanation to the Oireachtas Committee, has gone before the Oireachtas Committee twice now in respect of this issue, which, to remind people, relates to the appointment of a part-time envoy, and an appointment which did not go ahead. subsequently. In my view, the procedures leading to that was wrong, shouldn't have happened. The Minister has apologised. He's apologised to the Oireachtas Committee twice, and he's apologised to me in relation to what happened and in terms of how it happened. And in relation to the broader context, Tá gom gwil winter na tíre bortha faoi seo, ach tá siad bortha faoi annach chuid mar aon le seo. Ní leon áras am óthram, ach gat na rudaí is táchtaí atá os cór an bobbal ná an víras corónach, cuasaí sláinte, cuasaí tuithíochta, sin na rudaí is táchtaí a bhaineann le pobal na tíre seo, agus ní féidirlín in other words, the most important and substantive issues you mentioned that people are concerned. People are really concerned about health services. They're really concerned about housing. They're concerned about COVID-19 and many, many issues. And I've said from the outset that we need a fair, balanced and proportionate response to this issue. I believe the tabling of the motion of no confidence is not such a proportionate response from you and from your party, but that's your decision. And you might look into your own cupboard as well in respect of the appointments of people to public positions, because appointing your own is the hallmark of the Sinn Féin approach when in government to a whole range of public positions. You made the city of Derry your fiefdom in terms of patronage. So I think you're not on steady ground when you're trying to attack others in terms of appointing people to positions. And this is a part-time envoy. You've appointed your own to very senior positions as a member of government. In relation to the deletion of text, any text or any records relating to public or government business should not be deleted. And I've made that clear to all of my government colleagues. I do believe that Deputy Simon Coveney, or Minister for Foreign Affairs Simon Coveney, was not acting in bad faith here. And he had explained to the committee circumstances and the context in which he took that action. And I think he, at all times, I genuinely have to say to you, Deputy, I think he's acting in good faith. And I know that when you have dealt with Deputy Coveney in respect of Northern Ireland issues, in respect of foreign affairs issues, I don't think there's anybody in the House who would argue that he doesn't act in good faith. And with sincerity and honesty. He can be faulted in certain respects, no doubt about it, in terms of disappointment. He acknowledges that himself. But as I have said, any records pertaining to government business should not be deleted.
Thank you, Deputy McDonald.
Taoiseach, this is a substantive and a serious issue. Last year, Katherine Leo Varadkar admitted to deleting texts in relation to the leaking of a confidential government document at that time, the GP contract. That scandal came to light on your watch, Taoiseach. And yet here we are 12 months later and we have a repeat of that behaviour, and it's very clear to me from your answer that you have done nothing about this. So I'm going to put it to you very directly. You have conceded the point that your minister, Minister Simon Coveney, breached the law. Can you clarify that that is in fact the case? Can I ask you again what you have done or what you propose to do about that by way of sanction? And can I ask you again to clarify for us which other cabinet colleagues behave in this way? Which other cabinet members of your government are also in breach of the Freedom of Information stipulations? And what will you do about that? You, after all, Taoiseach, are in charge. Simon Coveney has breached the law. You have conceded as much. Who else is at this? Is the entirety of Cabinet at this?
I haven't conceded anything in relation to anybody breaking the law, Deputy, and you shouldn't be trying to put words into my mouth. You have made an assertion that I have no evidence of in terms of breaching the law now. So just look, play this one straight and fair in respect of your assertions. You're not the person who conducts an investigation into Minister Coveney in respect in terms of the law or the breach of the law. But I've made it very clear, no, I shouldn't actually, but I've made it very clear in respect of the deletion of government records in any shape or form or in any format, that should not happen. Anything that relates to the conduct of government business. Now, the Minister for Public Expenditure is bringing forward and is bringing a memorandum to government in respect of a review of the Freedom of Information Act, and is doing that, and has indicated that during the summer. And that will come before government very, very shortly, perhaps next week, in respect of the broader operation and working of the Act.
Thank you, Taoiseach.